Coach Hurley, you've had 2 games in a row where the team has kind of struggled offensively at times. What got the lead back for you? What worked for you? You never lost the lead, but what got things going in the last 15 minutes of the game today?
Yeah, Wayne, not to be a wise ass, but we scored 102 in the we scored 102 in the opener. So offensively, I think we turned it over a little bit too much in the opener, but we had 22 assists on like 100. What did we score? 100 and Phil? 100. So I'm not going to answer the offensive on the first game, but today, listen, I thought we looked really, really good early. We had the defensive, minus again some times where we were driven by their guards. I thought we really guarded better with better effort, a little better energy. I just thought we were incredibly immature. You get it to 19. You get it to 19 in the first half with 3:32, and we're playing really, really good because I think Hartford's probably a lot harder to play against than somebody could imagine. We just showed a lot of immaturity. We didn't know how to act. We didn't sustain it. That should have went from 19 to 23 at halftime, and at the first to second media timeout in the second half, it should have been 28. But we've got a lot of work to do. We were incredibly immature from the 3:32 mark of the first half throughout the next 23 minutes. It was just immaturity at its highest level.
And can you talk about what you got from Tyrese Martin? 6 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He was fairly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese is, just for a first game out, just physical presence and, an ability to help you, on the backboard, stealing your baskets, athletic ability, just a big athletic player that, that if he got a 2-game suspension from the NCAA instead of a 1, it might have been a bang game at the end. He was a difference maker, and he played 25 minutes today. We got some things we got to coach him up with, but those 25 minutes are going to obviously be increased moving forward. We need him on the floor.
And can you talk about how you took Tracy Carter out of the equation? He was 1 for 12 on the floor, and that was one of your game plans to pretty much neutralize him.
Yeah, I mean, really our number one thing we wanted to do was take away the 3-point line. The only way that we lose a game like this is if we give up 8, 9, 10 threes. Our goal for the game was to keep them under 5 made threes, to keep their team 3-point attempts under 16. And, obviously we were minus 13 at the free throw line. And I think a lot of those were fouls. I obviously complained a lot because I was frustrated by our immaturity. And, but, in a game like this, to be minus 13 at the foul line is a surprising number. And it was our immaturity. But, the only guy that I didn't think we did a good job with was Flowers. But I think Flowers is a really good player. They're a good team, and John does a hell of a job. They got a hell of a culture. They're very organized, and obviously playing against a 1-3-1 defense this early in the season, when you're trying to get your bearings, is a tough thing to deal with on a one-day prep. I thought he mixed that in well.
This is from Gavin because of his audio problems. Dan, can you ask him how important your depth was tonight with all the foul trouble you were going through?
Yeah, I mean, we're just just immature and really dumb fouls, like 60 feet, like, just as a point guard, RJ picking up like a fourth foul in the second half, 60 feet from the basket. We weren't in a stance. We were just sloppy and immature. They shot 32% from the field. We were all, our closeout and three-point line defense was so much better. So, we did a good job with a couple of other things, but then just bad, just low level, low focus. It's really humbling how far we have to go. Watching Villanova last night, Seton Hall today. The better teams in our conference, they don't put 40 minutes of this type of disciplined play on the court. So, I've got a lot I've got to get fixed before December 11th. And unfortunately for us, we're going to learn a lot of really, really hard lessons during these games.
Dave Borges.
Yeah, Isaiah came up with some big plays, it seemed, down the stretch, some baskets and a big block shot. Is that kind of how you want some of your seniors to step up, in big spots?
Yeah, I mean, we need more out of those guys. I mean, we're in year 3. They should be leading this group. They've got to be a lot more vocal, have much more of a presence. Isaiah's got the capability of doing that. I thought, he obviously didn't have a very good first half. He wasn't making an impact, at the offensive end. And then I thought you saw, kind of the version of Isaiah that brings the value so late. But we need that from the tip from a senior. We need that. We needed a lot more solid play from Isaiah and Tyler and Brendan Adams, 3 guys that should know how it's supposed to look by now.
Jeff.
And I thought that 2 to 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2 to 3 of those guys were, they weren't good today.
Jeff.
Dan, John Gallagher said afterwards that he considered Tyrese and RJ Cole X factors if you're going to take a serious run at winning the Big East. And it struck me that, those 2 guys could absolutely bring maturity to where you saw a lot of immaturity today. Could you just kind of address that?
Yeah, I think RJ's foul trouble obviously it affected the offensive end. He's going to be the engine for us at that end. So the foul trouble, I think, obviously hurt that end of the court. But yeah, I mean, we need him to be the quarterback. And Tyrese isn't a very vocal guy, but he plays with force, and he has a physical presence on the glass. And all he talked about in the pregame was 10 rebounds. And we need, obviously, his role is going to expand. He played 25 minutes today, his first game after the suspension. We obviously need him out there even more than that. Like RJ and Tyrese are guys that need to be obviously playing closer to that 30-minute plus range, and we'll get them there. But and Book Night and Gaffney need those types of guys out there because they're still young guys. They've got a little bit more muscle, but it's Book Night for that first half, looked dynamic, and just his focus. If he wants to be that guy this year, that full game focus and maturity has got to be there. To end that game with 18 and to have the defensive issues he has, we're not going to get to where we want to get to, with that. So he wants the burden. He can handle the burden. He's got to, he's got to improve his focus and his intensity, James. And we need other people to help him.
Dom?
Yeah, Dan, just have you decided what you want to do next week regarding the 2 or 3 games at Mohegan Sun? Have you made a decision about that? I mean, I ask, it's still not on the schedule, so I'm just wanting to know what you want to do.
Yeah, hey, basically, I think tomorrow, what made sense to us was, see what these guys look like physically. Game, day off, game. See what they look like physically tomorrow after playing that stretch. Because, if these guys are beat up because of, again, the play or immaturity the last 23 minutes had nothing to do with the missed practice time, 0. I just don't want to put these guys into I want to see what they look like physically tomorrow in terms of, just how they feel. And if they look good and feel good, then we'll go into the gauntlet next week. But we've got to we've got to care about the well-being and health of the group. We don't want to see some type of brutal injury because we did 5 practices in 11 days, 5 games in 11 days. So we'll make a decision on that tomorrow. We will not keep you waiting, Dom, because I know that you're.
Mike, Anthony?
Thanks. Dan, you beat me to this because you mentioned Book Night in one of your previous answers, but I was going to ask you about him taking over for that early stretch, but not necessarily capitalizing on it to help you guys really put them away in the second. Are there certain things you see in him and his body language, any change in him? Just how do you break down what he gave you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, he had a good first half. I mean, he had a brilliant start, and he lost concentration, he lost focus. It felt like he was on his way to like a 30. Like that's a game that if you want to be that guy as a sophomore at UConn, that's probably a 34-point game tonight. He's off to that brilliant start. He misses that change of pace, beautiful move. And I just think he relaxed and lost that focus and concentration. And we're going to coach the hell out of him. We were hard on him. He wants to be that guy. We all want him to be that guy this year. We were very hard on him in the post game. We're going to be very hard on him the next couple of days about playing a full 40-minute game. He played, realistically. I mean, like today, he played in spurts again, and you want to be a guy that can carry a team that's competing towards the top of the Big East. You've got to play a full 40 again. Especially after watching what Villanova's bringing to the table last night and what Seton Hall looked like after their layoff, So, there's some monsters waiting for us in this league, and if he shows up like this, it's not going to go the way that we planned this thing to go.
Any other questions? No? Okay, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
Go get the guys.
See you at Mohegan.
Defensive-wise, like down the stretch, I feel like I had a good impact. But for us to be a really good team, I gotta have that type of defensive energy throughout the whole game, and not just through little stretches like that where we end up putting ourselves in a tight battle. So I mean, I put that on me and the other seniors to be better leaders, to keep everybody poised and not get too cocky whenever we have a big lead and lose it really. So I'll take that on myself to to be better defensively throughout the whole game.
Like, can I go now? Now you're muted. Yeah. Isaiah,
Go ahead, Tom.
yeah, Isaiah, coach said that, immaturity, he used that word quite a bit in his time. I don't know if that was you to the players, but did you see immaturity as a problem tonight? And if so, how do you go about correcting it and fixing it in a short time?
Yeah, there was flashes of immaturity, and like I said, that gets solved really not through the coaches, but through the seniors, the upperclassmen, and the leaders really, with maturity, especially through halftime. Guys start getting complacent, and that's on me and the other seniors to gather the troops and make sure we keep our focus. Um, the immaturity part really came from us just a lack of focus, really.
Charlotte, you have a question? Or no? Yep,
Yeah, I do.
go ahead.
With having only one day off in between games, what was the focus and practice yesterday and kind of the message? Because you guys came out very aggressive that first half defensively.
Yeah, that was our main focus, was mainly to be way better on defense, because the first game we played terribly on defense. We were just getting driven by every time, and that was our main focus today. And the first half we established ourselves defensively, and then that's where the immaturity came in, where we let off the gas and we lost focus. So now we just got to put it together where we can put a full game of good defense.
George?
Hey, Isaiah, how do you go about cleaning up the foul issues?
I mean, basically that's a whole bunch of drills. Basically, just everybody focusing on moving their feet instead of using their hands, and basically that comes with the focus part and everybody being mentally dialed in with the defense.
Any other questions for Isaiah? No? Okay. We'll let Isaiah go. Bring it. Go ahead, Dave.
Jalen, what do you think led to you guys having foul issues today? Was it lack of defensive positioning, or what kind of led to that this evening?
I think it was just us just not being locked in on defense. I think we kind of underestimated them because they were a good team. They had a couple of scores, people who dropped to the basket. I think we just got to move our feet more, stop using our hands, because we got a lot of touch fouls with using our hands and stuff. So I think just we can do that. We can fix that with drilling. Just keeping that defensive mindset that we're supposed to have throughout the whole game. We just didn't have that for 440. I think that's why we had a lot of defensive lapses at times. So,
Tom?
Yeah, Jalen, coach used the word immaturity 5 or 6 times when he spoke before. I just want your take on that. Did you see a lack of maturity, maybe letting off the gas when you had a big lead, or what could you put your finger on what happened after the first 17, 18 minutes of the game?
I definitely think there was a lack of maturity. I think there was a point in the game, I think it was in the first half, we were up by about 19. And we just made silly mistakes, and they cut the lead down to about 11, 12, something like that. I forget the exact numbers, but we just gotta stay locked in for a 440. I think that's the whole thing. Is just we let up, especially against those guys. I think just we thought the game was over. We didn't have to play as hard, but those are Hartford was it was a good team, and they hit shots. They're a great shooting team. But now we just gotta stay locked in for a 440, and I think we'll beat a lot of teams.
Hey, Jalen, this is Charlotte. Not that it's an excuse, but how are you feeling physically after coming off the two back-to-back games and not practicing for so long?
Physically, I'm all right. You know, obviously after two games, you're gonna feel a little sore. You know, I tell myself every day I'm getting a little older. My knees are starting to hurt a little more. You know, even just waking up in the morning. I'm only 20 years old and I'm saying that, which is crazy. But I think just I don't know. I think I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. Going into next week, you know, we got off day tomorrow, 2 practices, and then a game against the SEC team, which is should be a tough matchup for us, but I think we'll pull out with the win, and I think we'll definitely game plan for it. But I think we're all good. We're gonna take this off day, recover, do whatever we need to do, get our bodies in shape for Tuesday.
No?
Jalen, career high 15 points. How much more comfortable do you feel within the offense this year compared to last year?
I definitely I feel a lot more comfortable. I think that just comes with the experience. I mean, last year I felt like my job was kind of not a game manager, but to keep the team just keep the team like in check and just make sure that everybody's in their spots or whatever. But I feel like this year, especially with another guard, a great guard, RJ, we have a lot of scores. So I think I'm a lot more comfortable because I can rely on all my guys, you know. So, yeah.